Alrighty, hello Bingo fans, and welcome to yet another Super Mario Odyssey Bingo match. I am Awesome Agron, and today we have an anti-bingo match between Ocarina Shrew and Aaron the Winner. Both of these runners are very competent in playing the game, Aaron being a more technical router, while Drew just being overall good. So I think it's going to be pretty close. I've played with both of these runners a good bit. Drew has made me yell a few times while commentating, so I'm pretty ready for a very interesting match. So, for those that are unaware how anti works, the opponents are currently picking a line for each other, and they basically want to pick the most volatile line that's going to make it the most difficult to synergize with the other goals on the card. So, the other two lines that they pick shouldn't be able to complement the other line that the opponent picked for them all too well. If it sounds confusing, it's not that confusing, so we'll get that underway soon. All right, it looks like they'll be starting any moment now. So commentating anti is going to be a little bit weird for me because when I usually start the board while they go through Cap and Cascade, I usually talk about possible routes that the opponents could be choosing. But since we'll already have an idea of what they'll be choosing, it won't be as clear cut. So um it looks like Drew is forced to do TLBR and Aaron is forced to do C3. And we'll see how that impacts as soon as the card is revealed on the stream. And again, they'll be starting any second. All right. Looks like the runners are off, but I can't really see the card on the restream, so I don't want to talk about it if the viewers can't see it. All right, I guess I'll start talking about the card. So C3 is the line that Aaron forced Drew to do, pretty sure. Yes. Wait. Yeah. Aaron told Drew to do C3, and... okay, yeah, there it is. We have the card. So, Aaron forced Drew to do C3, and Drew forced Aaron to do TLBR. I think that's interesting lines to pick here. So C3 and TLBR both force that cap revisit in the middle, while the difference here is a bit of Cascade Moons and some Seaside Regionals versus 8 costume sets and Alpha Door Wooded. So, oh yeah, and also 22 Moons. So there's definitely going to be a bit of variety in what they could pick here. If Drew's forced to do C3, I can just see him avoiding the costume sets entirely, as they don't really synergize with what he could be going for. Which, is kind of unfortunate for Drew, because he gave Aaron 8 costume sets, which seems bad on paper, but when you look at the card as a whole, there's a reasonable amount of costume set synergy. The Outfit Door Wooded, the 6 costume sets, there's 200 total regional coins. I don't know if they need to, justify it that much, but I could definitely see, TLBR, row 3, row 4 from Aaron, just as, a baseline to work with. That's not terrible. The APC in One Kingdom would likely be Lake, based off of the high Moon Lake goal there, but it's definitely not, a necessity. I feel like another line Aaron could be thinking about here is actually C4. C4 is actually better than Yeah, C4 is probably better than row 3. So, Aaron might be looking at C4, the TLBR that they're forced to do, along with row 3. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Again, you could still justify row 4. I feel like they're both very justifiable here. Now for Drew. Drew is put into a weird situation because there's a bunch of synergy with the costume sets, but C3 doesn't really allow that. So Drew's gonna have to work around this a little bit. It's not impossible, but it's not ideal, really. So with C3, I can maybe see, row 1? BLTR, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think Aaron picked the more volatile line for Drew. But they're definitely both pretty bad because they're forcing the cap revisit. But at the same time... Are the colors swapped on the board? Wait, is the layout mixed up? So, in the Bingo Sync chat, Aaron told Drew to do C3, and Drew told Aaron to do TLBR. So that's what I'm working off of. Is it really swapped on the layout? Yeah, that's a problem. Unless if the colors are resembling the lines that they told the other runner to do. In which case, I feel like it should be the other way around, but, you know, that's okay. We know what lines they're supposed to be doing. Alrighty. So, Drew has a small lead over Aaron right now, probably just due to, you know, knowing the game movement-wise better at the start. But, I definitely do think Aaron picked a much more volatile line for Drew to work with, because there really isn't much that Drew can do to avoid the heavy costume set goals without committing to them. So, like I said, I think we could potentially see Drew be going for like row 3 BLTR, but he really doesn't have much to work with here. I suppose we could also see 200 total regionals from Drew, but that might be a stretch. Yeah, so it looks like Aaron is immediately leaving Cascade, doesn't want anything to do with here, which makes sense. He really doesn't have any reason to stay. Probably isn't going for 200 regionals based off of what he's done so far, so we can pretty much eliminate row 4 from the route. So I do think we'll be seeing C4, row 3, and TLDR from Aaron. As for Drew, Drew is collecting 12 runes here because he is forced to, as akin to the C3 line. So we'll definitely see Drew stick around in Cascade a little bit longer, but Aaron will have to stick around longer in Sand, so I think that'll even out overall. It's just really costume sets versus some other jargon. And again, the synergy for Drew isn't as prevalent on the card as it is for Aaron, and I think that will make a pretty big difference here. But we'll see what Aaron decides to pick coming up. So, Aaron entering Sand. Aaron did set a DSTA before the race to 151, I believe. So we could see that come into play. For those that don't know, DSTA is Daylight Savings Time Advancement, where you set the switch clock based off of the Daylight Savings Time, where the seed grows during a loading zone, or as soon as the Daylight Savings Time hits via the loading zone. So, yeah, Aaron just picking up a few regionals here, likely for a costume set. It's a very interesting regional route. Didn't even bother to, like, go for, like, the bird or anything. He does need 22 moons, so that is a pretty interesting decision to not, you know, decide to cycle the regionals via the bird, but I can kinda understand the decision. Kind of. Drew finishing up his 12 Cascade, so he'll be leaving here shortly. Not too bad. Alrighty. So, Drew marking off the 12 Cascade. And again, in terms of like card synergy, Drew has a lot less to work with in terms of Aaron, but Aaron's goals are not necessarily fast, he just has good synergy. So, I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, because they both need to do the cap revisit, but Drew has significantly less synergy to work with on the card. And I think because of that, Aaron picked a more volatile line for Drew, but it's definitely, you know, far from over. We're just getting started. So, Drew entering Sand Kingdom. What could Drew possibly be planning to do here? Honestly, I could just see any percent, to be honest. He could maybe consider row 1 and do the 22 sand, but I don't think we're going to see that. Drew opening up the action guide. Oh no. The synergy between row 3 and C4 is pretty good on its own. Yeah, for sure. And with Drew forcing TLBR, that just creates a pretty good package for Aaron to work with. Doesn't need to work toward 200 total regionals. Even though it was definitely viable here, like, there's an okay amount of regional synergy to justify 200 total on this card. But yeah, C4 is just the better line in general, so I can totally see why that was cut out for Aaron. Let's see. Drew is waiting to get the bird. Okay. Missing the moon. That's unfortunate. Oh, getting it via the pylon. Okay, that's interesting. Aaron, not even gonna attempt Dram. Just like, nope, not worth it. I don't blame him. Stupid trick. So, yeah, 22 moons. It's probably just gonna be pretty similar to, like, the Dark Side route. I believe Dark Side gets 22 moons, or maybe it's DSNR. I don't exactly remember the amount of moons each one gets, but we'll likely see something similar to DSNR. Aaron actually collecting more purple coins, so maybe change a heart here, because he's at 27. And I think he already purchased the costume set from the shop. So I'm not really sure what's the point of collecting more purple coins. Unless if there's a regional coin sand goal? There is. Okay, yeah, 30 regional sand, that makes sense. So, that lines up with C4, so definitely still on track to see that. Grabbing atop the highest tower makes sense here. It's relatively fast for a 22 sand route. Don't know if I fully agree with the decision, but it's, yeah, you know, it's fine. It's fine. I can buy it. Speaking of buying, Drew bought a costume and put it on, actually. Getting some nice swag. Rocking the crazy cap. Performing a manual DSTA as well. So, still opting to use DSTA, but just having to go back into the menu and doing it normally. So, not quite getting its full time save from it. Kind of unfortunate. So, Aaron definitely has the lead here. So, in terms of the moons and just overall progress, definitely has a lead. It looks like Drew can just clean up with any percent, though, so he's really not that far behind. No, Drew has to do C3, Aaron has to do TLBR. And no, I think C3 is worse on this card due to the lack of synergy that it really has with the other lines. The whole goal of this mode is to basically ignore, you know, the kingdom progression as you're likely being forced into Snow or Seaside anyway, and work towards how volatile you can make the other lines being picked for the other player. Because, There's a lot of synergy with costume sets on this card, so I definitely think Aaron is going to have an easier time overall here than Drew. But Aaron's goals are not necessarily fast, they just have good synergy. So this is, again, far from over. And with Drew being the higher skilled any percent runner, anything can happen, for sure. Alright, Drew has 10 moons, Aaron has, I think that's 17 moons, so... Yeah, they're about even, honestly. Aaron actually opting to do some sub-areas, a little bit slow. Maybe could be working toward a total sub-area goal, I doubt it. No, really, I doubt it. World Peace Wooded, like, row 1 isn't bad until you see World Peace Wooded, and then you're like, well, I'm not doing row 1, especially since Aaron's already forced to do the alpha door, so I'd be very surprised if we see a row 1 here from Aaron. But he is in these sub-areas, and while they aren't, like, super slow, it could suggest that he is working toward a sub-area total. I didn't see Drew in any sub-areas in Cascade, so I don't think we'll be seeing any sub-areas from him. Drew also grabbing atop the highest tower. Are we also seeing 22 moons from Drew? I'm not sure. Also, that was a very sketchy sand gap skip from Aaron. Like, I was not expecting that to work, gonna be honest. Yeah, Aaron just in the sub areas. I'm not entirely sure why. I guess they are still considered fast enough. Wait, why is Drew going to moon shards in the sand? What is happening? Drew? Drew? I'm confused, buddy. Please help me. Oh, checkpoints. Right. That makes sense, Commentator forgetting what line Drew had to do for a sec there. I was like, wait, why is he going around the kingdom like this? Yeah, that makes sense. That also makes sense why you gotta top the highest tower. True. Very, very true. So, Aaron almost done here with his 22 sand. Will be leaving shortly. Drew will also be leaving shortly, actually. Doesn't have too much left. I don't think he's been to the Oasis, but he's gotten all of his other checkpoints, I think, besides the Oasis Jaxi Ruins and the Utter Ruins checkpoint. Or I could just be lying and he's going to Sphinx. Maybe he wants coins? Wait, Aaron's also doing the 8 checkpoint sand? Well, this is a revelation. I wasn't expecting that, but I guess I can kind of see where Aaron's coming from. Are we seeing row 5 instead? Okay, so it appears we're seeing row 5 instead of row 3 from Aaron. Yeah, you know what? That might be better. I still think I personally prefer row 3. It's like 18 Lake really isn't that bad. But I can definitely see where Aaron's coming from. Going straight back to cap. So, yeah, Aaron's in a good place. Oh, Drew is also going for the 22. That's interesting. It's very interesting. So, they're both going for the 22. I guess that means we're seeing row 1 from Drew? He hasn't been collecting regionals, has he? No, not really. Huh. Not sure, man. You think the worst line's row 4? Nah. 200 total regionals if you're going to Seaside is not that bad, and there's a reasonable amount of regional synergy to justify it here. I was actually talking at the start that Aaron could have been doing row 4, because it's really not that bad here. But I can totally understand if they don't want to commit to 200 total regional coins. No, Drew is definitely doing C3 because Drew was forced to do C3. I think the colors are swapped on the way out, because the Bingo Sync chat says otherwise, and that's what I'm basing it off of. Yeah, Neo, I think they swapped the colors on the way out because Drew's forced to do C3 and Aaron's forced to do TLBR. So, not really too sure what's going on there. Oh no. I mean, at least it's just a layout thing. So, Aaron already done with 4 moons cap, so... Yeah, this is looking really good for Aaron. Drew entering cap while Aaron's leaving, that's at least a minute advantage. Maybe even like a minute and a half, closer to 2 minutes. Depending on what moons Drew does. Why did Drew pick Wooded? Good question. There's not really a reason for preference on it with this card. Guess just wanted to do Wooded first. I honestly don't have a reason why Drew picked Wooded first. So, it definitely looks like Aaron's doing row 5, TLBR, and C4. Which is definitely good lines for the route that he's doing. Again, I think there was definitely argument for row 3 or row 4 as well, but I can definitely justify the lines that Aaron picked. Yeah, there was a good amount of synergy for his forced TLBR. So, Drew gonna finish up in cap real quick, probably with the Frog Pond. Nope. He's just not even gonna bother with that. So I guess Shop and the Frog Moon at the start of the kingdom. Interesting choice. Drew's spending coins on Shop Moons, but I don't think it matters if he doesn't plan to do costume sets. Yeah, there is indeed a lost finish on this card, but because it's anti, we will not see either runner be able to do it because they were forced into Snow or Seaside. Alright. Drew finishing up with cap. Aaron hasn't made too much progress in Lake, but considering they don't plan to stay here long, Drew is definitely still lagging behind. So, look at 2 hint arts. Aaron could literally just pick, like, I don't know, Wooded and Seaside for those. He does not need to fight Rengo here. So, I don't expect to see Rengo being fought in Lake Kingdom. And we haven't seen Aaron do APC yet, so... Oh, is he doing it? Oh, he's doing Lake. Oh. Alright, that's an interesting decision. I think Lost makes more sense here, but Lake is definitely the safer play. So, I can get behind that. Yesterday you realized there are boards where you can force Snow plus Seaside and Anti? Really? How so? Like, what goals force that scenario? Or are you talking about, like, from a sense of you pick a Seaside line where there's a bunch of Snow lines, and then they're also forced to go to Snow, because there's not enough other lines to work with for Seaside? I would assume that's what you're saying, because it's not designed where a Snow and Seaside line can appear in the same line. Yeah, 1 Snow and 4 Seaside goals, and the 1 Snow goal is not on a diagonal. Yeah, that makes sense. Drew, not even attempting nut clip. Deciding to go to wooded first, gonna make it really hard for the commentator to track who's ahead. So, I don't really think I'll be able to tell until they're in cloud. Gonna be honest. Although, depending on what Drew decides to do, because I still don't know what Drew's third line is. So, like, Drew is C3, I think C1? And then, what's the third line? I guess row 4. Yeah, I could see that. Because, like, if you're gonna do 200 total regionals, but not commit to the full costume sets, that's fine, because you can buy most of the costume sets with yellow coins anyway. However, Drew has already used a lot of his money. He does have a good bit of money, though, right now, so I can definitely still see that happening. Has been buying plenty of shop moons, but has also been keeping his coin stash pretty reserved, so... Does anyone know what the best short single is? Are we talking from a theoretical standpoint, or just in general? Because those are two different things. Theoretically, short single can definitely have a sub-10 board. Absolutely. 100%. As for RTA, I had an 11-1, but that's beside the point. The best done by humans, RNG dependent. Okay. Yeah, so I'm really still not sure what Drew's third line could be. Like, I'm not even 100% certain what his second line is. I'm just making an educated guess based off of what he's been collecting. He is collecting a good bit of, like, spare regionals, so I can definitely see the 200 being a possibility here still. Which is very interesting. Like, you would think that would count him out, but it really makes it so he doesn't have to do too much in the Kingdoms besides just collect some spare regionals here and there. So, Aaron, while looking good, isn't exactly, like, foolproof yet. Like, his route is definitely better, but Drew can definitely make up for it with better movement. Yes, this is triple anti-bingo, but the opponents only pick one line for each other, and then they complement it with 2 more lines. That makes sense. Alrighty, so, Drew fighting Spirit. Does he have a reason to fight Spirit here? Not really? I really hope he's not doing World Peace Wooded. That would be so sad. I think if Drew's doing World Peace Wooded, that's like a game, right? Because, like, Aaron just has better choices line-wise. And World Peace Wooded's a pretty big time commitment. Looks like World Peace Wooded. I hope not. Thing is, this puts him at 13 moons, so I'm convinced it's not World Peace Wooded. I'm just trying to think why he fought Spirit. Like, does he need something at the top that I'm not thinking about? Don't think so. So Aaron just entering Wooded. So Drew getting another costume set. Seems good. Let's see, what else? Does Aaron have anything to do in Wooded? Not really. Probably just gonna... Oh, right, the outfit door. Aaron is forced to do the outfit door, so... We will see a Deep Woods visit at some point. Drew also going to the Deep Woods? Wait, this is a revelation. Is Drew also doing the outfit door? Oh, shit. Wait, they're both doing row 5. They are both doing row 5. That is a revelation I was not expecting. Gonna be honest. But, Drew taking off the outfit door already. Huh. I think Drew's gonna have the lead at a lake. Because what does Drew need to do in a lake? Not much of anything, right? I think lake is just any percent for Drew. Huh. Okay. Well, this just became more interesting. So they're both doing row 5. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think row 5 was that good at the start, but now I'm looking at it, I can definitely see the justification behind row 5. I still think row 3 had promised here, but I can totally see why both runners are scared away from the 18 lake, even though it was totally justified for Aaron if he was doing APC in that kingdom. Oh, I think he beat Spirit just because he wanted this coin art. Not exactly choice I would, realistically beat Spirit for. I can see it, I can see it. Looping around the back to get back to the Odyssey, it looks like. Yeah, okay. So, Drew globing, while Aaron still needs 8 more moons. One of them is the outfit door. Aaron hasn't bought the costume set yet. Drew's gonna be ahead out of Lake, I'm pretty sure. So Drew should be ahead when they both get to Cloud. Because I don't think Drew has anything extra to do. Okay, so interesting. Wait, so does that mean Drew's also doing TLBR? Just saying, screw it, just committing to the costume sets regardless of the synergy problem? That's kind of funny. He's like, balls to the walls, man, I don't care, I'm doing the 8 costume sets. Aaron just looked at the hint art, that's 1 of 2. Did Drew look at the hint art? The wooded art, specifically? I don't think so. I don't remember Drew looking at the wooded art, so he will need to look at 2 more arts to be able to finish. He's doing row 5, which is definitely confirmed at this point. Man, I was not seeing that coming. They were both doing row 5. Dude, this is one of those anti-cards where even if, like, you pick, a supposedly volatile line, there's enough good lines to make up for it regardless of the synergy deficit. Because I really thought Drew would have the disadvantage based off of the synergy deficit, but it really doesn't seem to be that way. Like, at the start of this match, I was like, okay, Aaron picked a pretty volatile line compared to Drew, so that's gonna make Drew's life a lot harder, but it seems like Drew is just taking the 8 costumes, that's like a man. It's like, well, I gotta do this if I want to do other fast goals within the card. So, I wasn't expecting it. It's a ballsy play, for sure. Drew is going to this crate for some reason. Decided to go all the way out of his way to get this crate moon. I'm not really sure why. I guess there are a lot of purples by this crate moon, but, like, really? I don't know about that one. Taking a bit of a bonk. Aaron is in the deep woods with the explorer's outfit on, so... Again, it looks like it's gonna be close for whoever's gonna leave first. Oh man. Drew is collecting more coins. So that pretty much confirms TLBR in my opinion, because there's no way Drew is collecting this many coins. Wait. Oh, he's warping back to the shop. I guess he doesn't know the jump to get up there. So he just has to warp instead. Tank the 5 seconds or something extra for warping. But I guess it's safer, so I can kind of see it. Alright. So. Aaron's getting the outfit door. This is his last moon in Wooded. So, yeah, this is neck and neck right now. Because Aaron still needs to climb out of the deep woods. Drew fighting Rango? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. If he was going to the shop, there was no reason to fight Rango here. Because there was easily 8 moons on the way to the dome. I don't agree with that decision. Drew's struggling with Rango. Oh no. Alright. Drew? Okay. That was close. Yeah, for the hint art, sure, but there's faster hint arts. Remember, they only need 2. So, I don't understand why you would fight Rango to go out of your way for this. All I'm saying is there's better options if they only need 2. And they're going all the way to Seaside. So, kind of a misplay for Drew. But perhaps he doesn't curb his scree. Perhaps. So, Aaron does have a slight lead. Wait, Drew didn't even look at the art here. What? He just glowed immediately! Wait, am I dumb? Did I just miss it? He didn't look at the art. Why would you fight Rango but not look at the art, man? Okay, sure. So it looks like Aaron has like a 40-second lead in Cloud. I'll know for sure in a sec. Because he realized there were faster arts. Yes, after fighting Rango, the whole reason why you would fight Rango on this card in the first place. Because that makes sense. Holy 5-head strategy. So, looking forward from here with, like, Metro and Seaside, Aaron definitely is looking better off. They still have to both buy their costume sets, like, the good majority of them, but Drew has more to do in Metro and Seaside because of the 35 regionals and the extra sub-area in Metro. So, it's not a lot, but it's going to make the difference here, especially since Aaron's already ahead. I can definitely see this being the matchmaking decision. Barring any, you know, dumb 3-cycle shenanigans, of course. Okay. So, Aaron in Lost. Is there anything that he needs to do specifically in Lost, besides probably go to the shop and buy a costume set? Although he doesn't have to. He already has 2 with purple coins, so he could skip this. Looks like he is. Alright. Wait, Drew caught up quick. What the heck? I mean, I guess Aaron did do a slower variation of Meme Tree, but, like, really? Yeah, they're only, like, 2 moons apart now, which is only, like, 15 seconds in terms of Lost Kingdom. Huh. Okay. I wasn't expecting the any percent to catch up that fast, but both of these runners don't have anything significant to do in the Lost Kingdom, so I can definitely see Drew overtaking Aaron here just because of the any percent. I wasn't expecting it to be that quick, though. It's a 2-moon difference! That's like 15 seconds for Lost Kingdom. Oh, Drew having trouble with the Trapedal. Unfortunate. It's still a 2-moon difference, though. I think Aaron's taking the def here. Yeah, which is fine. That's like, what, 2 seconds? That's fine. Yeah, so Aaron still has the lead, but it's questionable by how much. Honestly. It's still very close. Oh, Drew also taking the def. Okay. Absolutely no trust trying to survive there. I'll be able to know exactly how far apart they are in a sec. Aaron is leaving loss at 38:05. Drew is leaving loss at 38:22? 17 seconds? Yo, we got a bingo match. What the heck? It's close. Alright, 38:21. 16 seconds! Yeah, this is anyone's game for sure. But, again, Drew does need to do more than Aaron when they approach Seaside and Metro. Metro and Seaside. What am I trying to say? Drew has more to do than Aaron, even though it doesn't seem that way. But again, this any percent deficit is going to get to Aaron not being able to do the cabana jump. Pavilion jump? Awning jump? Dude, what is it? I'm actually not sure what it's called. Is it awning jump? Is that the official name for it? I actually don't know. Someone please clarify. Dude, it's so close. Yeah, Drew's just making massive gains with the any percent movement. It's a little scuffed, but like you can just see it slowly catch Aaron. Dude, this is crazy. Oh, Drew actually deciding to get this moon early. Probably because he knows he needs to do some extra stuff in Metro, and likely won't be able to follow a direct any percent route. Makes sense, makes sense. Again, being forced to do the sub-areas might cause Drew some problems. But we'll see, we'll see. Oh my god, dude, it's so close. Okay. Aaron grabs City Hall Lost and found at 40. Deciding to go around? That's gonna cost some time. Just playing it safe, I guess. Alright, 40-11 City Hall exit versus 40-14 City Hall exit. What is going on? Drew is just making the gains. Like, the any percent deficit is so real here. It's so crazy to just see both of these runners side by side and just see Drew just completely come back with just some small any percent optimization. Like, they're basically neck and neck now, dude. Like, Drew could literally be ahead out of Wiggler just because of better R&D. That's how crazy this is at this point. Hopefully we don't see any stupid bullshit from this boss today. Aaron, oh, that's scary. I think he's fine. Okay, yeah, he got it. Played it a lot safer than Drew. Oh my god, dude. It's literally 2 seconds apart now. Absolutely insane, dude. This is definitely gonna come down to the wire. Alright, so, Aaron's multi-moon fade-out is 41:52. Drew's is 41:54. No way. Again, Drew does have a little bit more here to do than Aaron. Didn't look at any arts yet. So, Drew does need to look at a Metro art and do 6 moons from sub-areas. We need to keep that in mind while they're both doing Metro Kingdom. Drew does have more to do, but again, the any percent deficit is showing... Oh, that's an interesting strategy. Oh, Aaron missing the Metro Tram, and they're basically tied now! What the actual heck? Okay, Drew going for Scoot Clip. Lining it up. Gets it! Oh, man. Aaron's struggling with the RC car! No! See, if you commit to being anti-scoot clip gang, you need to be, like, a pro at this moon. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, Drew is definitely taking the lead now. Drew still has more to do than Aaron, but, like, it's definitely clear that Drew has taken a small lead now. So, 6 moons from sub-areas. Drew entering the shop, actually. That's an interesting decision. Buying more costume sets, it seems. How many are they buying? I guess whatever's left? Looks like he's putting on another outfit. Oh, this is silly. But hey, you might as well do it if you don't have to lose time for it. Because he's gonna buy the moon along with all of this. So, that's 4 costume sets from the shop, along with 1 costume set? Wait, no. 2 costume sets with regional coins? Is that right? I think so. This is an interesting combo. We have the fashion outfit with the gangster hat. Drew, going to bullet build. Wow, that's an interesting routing choice. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Opting not to route out of the shop and deciding to go to Metro, like forward to back instead of back to forward with a warp up to City Hall. It's a very interesting routing decision. It's always nice to watch other players because you get different ideas for routing. Drew not doing bullet building strat at all, just opting to play it, I wouldn't say safe at the pulls, but just doing it, you know, about as intended as possible, because, man, those pulls are scary. I'd rather just vault across the gap, gonna be honest.
Hi.
Drew flinging himself to Pauline. Wait, why is he... Wait. I guess for Trumpeter. I mean, he does need the hint art. I guess that's reasonable. He still needs 2 more sub-areas to do. So, we'll probably see Shards Room and Timer Room? Like, People Room? Crowd Room? Whatever you call it. The sub-area that Aaron just left. Alright, oh man, it's still really close. But Drew, I think, has too much left. Yeah, 2 more sub-areas. Yeah, Aaron's gonna take the lead again. Because Aaron is just any percenting. No reason not to, right? Gonna save his costume set buys for Seaside as well. This is still close, but it's definitely back in Aaron's favor. Drew needs to do 2 more sub-areas, man. I think these sub-areas are gonna seal it for Drew. Because while they aren't slow, Aaron can just do any percent. And there's nothing Drew could really do about it. Okay. No dizzying heights. No, glittering above the pool. Just gonna get left at the cafe. Realizing he's too many moons, I guess. And now we're doing this. Barrel clip. Alright, second try. Good, good. Aaron leaving Metro, though. I think that's gonna be game. Because all Aaron needs to do in Seaside, 4 GPs, 5 GPs, and buy his costume sets, and look at an art. All of which are not going to take much more than 3 minutes. So Drew is now on a pretty big timer. And I don't think it's going to be enough, because Drew has to do more than Aaron in Seaside. So, unfortunately, it was really close at the start of Metro, but something happened during Metro. Like, Drew didn't have to do too much extra, but I think the way he routed it was just a little bit unoptimal, which caused Aaron to just take the lead entirely. Yeah, the layout's wrong. It's supposed to be switched. Aaron forced Drew to do C3, and Drew forced Aaron to do TLBR. So yeah, the colors on the layout are swapped. Just keep that in mind. Although Drew ended up doing TLBR anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Wait, did Drew look at another art earlier and I just didn't notice? Drew must have looked at another art and I didn't notice. That must have been what happened. But regardless, Aaron buying his last few costume sets, like, there's really not much that Drew can do at this point, right? I mean, Aaron's already in Seaside, so probably wouldn't, yeah. That would make sense. I must have missed it. My bad. Yeah, Drew unfortunately has to collect 35 regional Seaside, so this is definitely Aaron's game, 100%. I don't see how Aaron loses this at this point. I guess he could drown. Would be pretty unoptimal to drown in the Seaside Kingdom. But yeah, just gonna take his Gushin, finish off these ground pound moons. Gonna get the 2 by the canyon and the 2 in the water by the any % route, and that'll be it. Because I believe they have 8 costume sets. They bought 5 with yellow coins, they're wearing 1, and they also purchased, I think, the one in Lake and the one in Sand. So that would give them 8. So yeah, Aaron finishing up here. Yeah, Drew just has too much left to do. Okay, so one thing that kind of annoys me with the way Drew added these costume sets, he visited 3 different shops for yellow coin costume sets when he could have done it all at once. Uh-oh. Aaron's stream is frozen. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully he's local recording, but that is basically the end of the match. Like... Wait, is the bingo sync board frozen too? It is. Okay. Well, Aaron is done, according to bingo sync, but his stream is unfortunately frozen. I mean, you know, it literally froze before he finished by 2 ground pound moons. You really expect me to believe Aaron would not get 2 ground pound moons in Seaside, knowing that he was fully in the lead the whole time. Ah, there it is. Okay. He's good, he's good. His stream is back. It shows that he is at the last ground pound moon. And, yeah. Cool, cool. Well, GG to Aaron. He is indeed the winner today. Pretty close match, and I'll see if both of these guys want to get in for some interview.
Hello.
Hello, Aaron. You are indeed the winner.
Let's go. How close was it at the end? I knew Drew was close when he marked the look at 2 hint arts.
Yeah, it was pretty close, but Drew ended up having to do more in Seaside than you, so it was
Oh, right,
basically a
because he had the
skill deal
35
there.
regionals, right? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute difference, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, it was still pretty close, for sure. Actually, entering Metro, you guys were, like, neck and neck, and during the Wiggler fight, you were 2 seconds apart upon Fade Out. And then Drew actually took the lead
Let's
because
go.
of your RC car struggles, and he just got scoop clipped, like, almost right away. So...
Oh, I didn't think he went for scoop clip. Well, good on
But-
him then, I guess.
No, yeah, but then because Drew had to do sub areas and whatnot, it definitely led to his demise because you were
Yeah, I
able to leave
see.
Metro before him. I
Yeah, that makes
definitely
sense.
think you picked a more volatile line than him too, because the costume sets had pretty good synergy here.
Boy.
And by
Yeah, and then Drew wound up being VLTR anyways.
yeah, I know. I was surprised by that. Yeah,
Yeah,
how's
I
it going,
mean-
Drew?
BLTR and C3 kind of go decently well together, so I was like, okay, well, I might as well just take it anyway. And I know, like, okay, at least Aaron's doing the same line, so it's like I'm not losing time on that line necessarily.
I was actually kind of surprised I didn't see a row 4 from Aaron. I'm gonna be honest, 200 total regionals here seemed like a pretty good play.
Oh. I honestly thought 200 total regionals was pretty good on this board just because of all the costume sets and everything. I honestly think I should have went with BLTR though and get the
Honestly,
Captain Visit and
row
World
3
Peace
and
Wooded.
C1 were also viable. This was one of those cards where there were there were a lot of viable picks.
Ooh, yeah,
besides your
C1
volatile line to work with.
would have been nice.
I think I should have definitely went. I think I should have definitely went with BLTR. Honestly, World Peace Wooded just doesn't have anything for this card.
No, for sure. I honestly think if Drew committed to the 200 regionals line, that would have set him up better since he was getting 35 regionals in Seaside anyway.
Yeah, I think what really screwed me was
Yeah, that makes
not
sense.
there was one less outfit at the Metro shop than I thought there would be. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come
Oh.
on, dude.
Yeah, I was mentioning
Yeah,
that.
that's
You made some
unfortunate.
weird plays. So you fought Rango and Lake, and then you
Yeah,
didn't-
that ended up being a bad decision. Well, I also botched it too. But I mean, I know from my Talkatoo spreadsheet that Rango is like the 3 fastest moons, basically. But
Okay.
not the way that I did it. Like, it would have been faster. If I was going to the shop anyway, which I really probably shouldn't have, it would have been faster to just grab moons around the shop.
Right,
Like,
but the
that's
thing
not-
is, usually if you're going
Yeah.
to the Dome and the Lake and you have no reason to fight Rango, you shouldn't fight Rango.
Yeah, so. And then I was like, well, I could grab the hint art. And I was like, well, no, there's more hint arts later that are on more along the way. So it was just bad. I should have just done any percent Lake, TBH. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, makes sense.
like maybe not like completely any percent, but like definitely like an adapted any percent where you enter the shop. It's
Yeah,
either
I don't know.
room, broken pillar, stuff like that. But besides that, I definitely feel like Aaron definitely put you in a pickle on this card because by walking you into C3, it didn't leave you many options that avoided the costume sets, and it looked like you realized that and you just took the costume
yeah,
set.
like I pretty much had to go with the line that I gave him. But it was also like, okay, well, like I said, like I know he's taking that same line at least, so like it's not that bad that I have to take this line. Like,
Maybe, but you also have to consider the fact that, since you both are doing the revisit and you had more to do in the kingdoms overall, like, you had more to do in Cascade, you had equal amount in Sand. I guess Aaron technically had more than in Lake because he chose to do APC there, and then you guys were about even on Wooded, and then Metro and Seaside just killed you because you had too much to do.
yeah.
And then
Well,
because of the way you routed
yeah.
the costume set, you
Yeah.
had to do 3 different shops for yellow.
The way I routed was very bad. Like if I could do this card over with the same lines, I feel like I'd get a much better time.
Oh, I mean, for sure.
That's just how it goes.
I mean,
you
yeah.
can't always route it perfectly.
That's usually how it is,
Yeah,
You realize
Yeah.
your mistakes and you're like, oh, well, that's that, I guess.
yeah. So
I
GG's,
think my
Aaron.
routing was. Yeah, GG. I think my routing was pretty good overall, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
To be fair, there
a really interesting board for
really
Anti.
wasn't
It
much
showed
to
that
route on
even-
my lines though.
It showed that the other lines that you picked mattered more versus the volatile line here, because there wasn't like a super volatile pick line-wise here. So the other two lines that you picked to complement the supposed volatile line mattered more here, in my opinion, than the lines that you picked for each other.
Yeah, that's
which is kind of opposite to how
That's
this is
true.
supposed to go.
Yeah.
Although I do think BLTR was very volatile and we both missed it.
BLTR. Yeah, World Peace Wooded really didn't have anything to do on
Yeah,
this card,
that-
did it?
No,
Didn't seem
it
like a
really
great
didn't.
idea to me. I considered
yeah.
column 4. That looked like a decent column for this route.
For sure.
Yeah, it was.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
honestly
for your
surprised I
route,
didn't see
okay.
either of you guys do 200 total regionals, because I really
Yeah.
didn't see that here.
I mean, I was
Drew with
considering
the
them just
35
like...
built in at the end. Like,
Yeah, and with all the
I
costume
was
sets
considering
too.
them just like, is it really worth getting 100 more regionals to avoid APC Lake? Probably not.
I mean, the thing is, you could have done it with APC Lake.
Oh, and take out the 8 checkpoint sand.
Yeah, or, something along those lines. Like
that would
row
be
4,
what it is.
C4, TLBR. Like, that's not awful.
Oh, row 4. Wait, why'd you do row 4?
For the more purple coin synergy,
I guess you take out 1 ground pound moon in Seaside. Okay.
I mean, I'm not, saying that that's the play overall. I'm just saying that it was an option.
Alright.
And I'm surprised I didn't see either of you guys, go for it.
Yeah,
But, I guess
I know
the
regionals are
regional
fast.
is very taxing on the overall routing of the card.
Yeah.
So
for
I can
sure.
definitely see why you would want to avoid that stress.
Yeah, I'm not huge on big regional goals. I mean, I know they're fast, but it's just I hate keeping track of some huge total.
I suppose. But when you're going to Seaside, 200 is not
Yeah.
really that much. And
For sure.
you're going to have,
It
100
isn't.
built in, you're kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Which, Aaron definitely did on his route, so...
Well, I had 100 built in, but the thing is, it wasn't really doing much by adding either of the other lines, so I still didn't think it was worth it.
No, yeah, that's fair. I definitely agree with your line picks. They were definitely really good. But,
Yeah.
definitely the 200 total regionals is still on the table. C1, man, that triangle
Yeah,
could have
for
been
sure.
pretty good. Because, what are you
Yeah,
doing
fair
outside of, realistically anything else? Or, taking out row 5, but again, row 5 is also just really easy. So, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those cards where it has 4 line syndrome.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it has quad bingo syndrome.
Quad bingo syndrome, 4 line syndrome. Yeah, it's definitely that type of card. But yeah, GG's to both of you. Good race. It was pretty close.
For
throughout.
sure.
Again, Metro, you were neck and neck.
Yeah, for sure.
At the start of Metro, during Wiggler, your fade outs were 2 seconds apart.
Ooh. Yeah, I can't wait to go
That's
back and
amazing.
watch it. I thought I was winning, and then all of a sudden he marked all his goals at once, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah,
That's how
I
it
thought
is.
you were closer, so I didn't want to waste any time marking the goals before I finished.
Fair
That's how
enough.
it is. Get your opponent into a false sense of security. and
Yeah.
then-
I mean, that wasn't really the goal.
Even though it really
was
doesn't
ju-
make
it was
a
just like,
difference here, because it's not like walkout where it's game changing to your overall strategy of playing the card, but it's definitely a gut punch for sure.
Oh well. I
I'm sorry, Drew. I thought Drew might. I was afraid Drew might be closer to me, so I just wanted to just get everything done before I marked
yeah,
it.
no, it makes sense. It makes sense. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I came into this match thinking I probably had a 20% chance of winning. So I'm not disappointed in the results. So
Yeah, and 2 minutes apart for a bingo match, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Pretty normal. So, again, GG's to both of you. I'm not
I
sure
know the
GG's.
random thing. Right, like a minute before I was done, I got a message on my computer saying OBS disconnected. That actually happened.
Oh.
So that's what that was. Yeah.
My
'cause,
stream
the
actually
stream
disconnected
froze for,
right
the
at
last
the
30
race.
seconds, and I was trying to convince Neo that Aaron wouldn't splice 2 ground pound moons in Seaside.
That was so sad. I'm just like, oh come on, really now?
Imagine splicing 2 ground poundings in Seaside
Yup.
when you know you're already winning.
Had the splice ready to go.
Totally calculated splice.
Yup.
Just inserted like 30 seconds before the match finishes. Makes sense.
Yup, for sure.
Because it literally froze when you were getting with the waves left behind.
Yeah, just like, really? Does it have
I'm
to
like, well,
freeze
he only has
now?
2 ground poundings left. I'm not really sure if, you really need to ask him to, like, do any kind of verification here.
I'm just glad that it wasn't closer, because like if it was closer, then you would have the option of if Drew finished before my stream reconnected, then we'd have an issue.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there was no major
Thankfully,
issues
did
of that sort.
reconnect.
So, again, GG's to both of you. You both played very well, and good luck in future matches.
All right, thanks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks.
Thanks for
Alrighty,
having us.
guys. I've been Awesome Agron, and make sure you guys follow SpeedGaming, follow our runners, follow me if you want. There will be more bingo action throughout the upcoming weeks. Alright.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.